To our Father, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the one that heals and the one that mends. All the names you have heard, touch them right now. In thy Son Jesus' name, heal them, bless them, all of us, our school system, every employee, the entire world. We need your help right now. Thank you for all the things you've done for us. Lead us in the right direction as we make decisions tonight that will affect so many. Bless, keep all of us in thy Son Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As you can tell, Mr. Bass couldn't make it tonight, so I'm filling in for him. First time, so I know there's going to be some mistakes, and they're going to be JW's fault, okay?
Well, that's right, I'm going out. So
Yeah, he's going out, so any mistakes I make's his fault. We're going to go for the item 1.02, approval of the minutes of the regular session of the board for July 14th, 2022.
So move, Mr. President.
Second. Seconded by Mr. Bullard. Please vote. %. Item 1.03, approval of the agenda for the regular session of the board for August 4th, 2022.
So moved. Second.
Second by Mr. Dean. Please vote. You got Eric? Thanks, Eric. It's his fault. All right, item 201, I guess that passed 100%. 201, recognition, newly appointed administrator, presented by Mitch Downey, superintendent.
Thank you, Vice President Bachhaus. We have one person to present to you tonight, our new human resource specialist, who's been on the job a couple weeks and has already made some positive impacts, Miss Michelle Campanella. Ms. Campanella has been a resident of Bossier Parish for over 15 years. She's married with 2 children, has 20 years experience in human resources in the private sector, master's degree in industrial psychology and human resources concentration. Ms. Campanella.
Superintendent Downey, Vice President Bachhaus, members of the board, I would like to thank you for this opportunity, for letting me be a part of this team. I'm really looking forward to this opportunity. I would like to take a moment to introduce my family, my husband, Joe Campanella, my son, Vince Campanella, and my daughter, Alexandra Campanella. Thank y'all very much.
That's good. I really love watching all these kids. I'm so glad Miss Bales has this thing going good. These kids are fantastic. Item 2.02, recognition, bus operator appreciation, presented by Sam Darby, District 10 board member. Miss Darby.
As we get ready to welcome our students back to school, I want to take a moment to express appreciation for our frontline team that safely transports our precious cargo, those being our school bus operators and their assistants. Each morning, our drivers are the first smile to greet the 13,000 plus students that ride the bus, which sets the tone for those children's day. Our bus operators are also the last ones to say goodbye to the children in our care, and perhaps the first bright spot of their day. There are more than 200 of them that crisscross Bossier Parish each morning and afternoon from all points, north, south, east, and west. If there are any bus operators in the audience, will you please stand? While National School Bus Driver Appreciation is not until February, I just want to take a moment to applaud and thank all of our bus operators and transportation department for everything they do for the children and families of Bossier Parish schools and wish them a safe school year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Darby. Well put. Item 2.03, recognition, Bossier Parish Schools. Good news presented by Ms. Sonia Bales, Public Relations Liaison.
Good evening, Vice President Bachhaus, Superintendent Downey, all of our school board members, and everyone here this evening. It has been an eventful summer for our students and our staff, so we have a lot of good news to catch you up on this evening. So we're excited to see all of our young people in the audience. First of all, we want to press the rewind button. Yes, there used to be a rewind button on the tape recorders. Back to the month of May when high school graduations were taking place and school ended, but not only for students, but also for a half dozen of our who have been pursuing their doctorate degrees. So we're ecstatic to report that there are 6 new doctors in the house. Would you please help me welcome, as they come forward, Doctors Miranda Allen, Emma Jordan, Connie Miller, Billy Neal, These Bossier Parish educators have gotten to know each other very well over the last couple of years. They graduated from Louisiana Tech University and were conferred with their doctorates of education. And it was a lot of hard work as all 6 continued to work full-time at Bossier Schools while attending classes and writing and defending their dissertations. And I want to introduce each one of them to you. First of all, to my immediate right, Dr. Allen. She is a curriculum facilitator housed here at Bossier Instructional Center. We also have Dr. Jordan, if she'll raise her hand. She is curriculum supervisor in our technology department. Dr. Neal is administrative assistant at Bossier Parish School for Technology and Innovative Learning. Dr. Pierley is the new principal at Waller Elementary School. And Dr. Pope is instructional coach at Russian Middle School. They are the perfect examples of lifelong learners that we encourage our students to be as well. So one more time, if you will, please help me acknowledge our 6 new doctors in the house. Not only do we have doctors in the house, but we also have state, national, and world champions among us. As you can see from the audience, Bossier Parish and the state of Louisiana were well represented in Louisville, Kentucky over the summer, where the 2022 NASP championships played out, 2 different ones. So first of all, let's talk about nationals. Would my team from Benton Intermediate School please come forward? Also, their coaches, we want to make sure their coaches come forward too. The team set their sights on the bullseye, and they had a fantastic season. Not only did they win the state bullseye and 3D tournaments, these are your state champions here, ladies and gentlemen, but then they went on in both the bullseye and the 3D competitions. They deserve a big round of applause for that. finish there, though. These archers spent early mornings over the summer practicing for the championship, which is the equivalent of world status. And let me just say that they made everybody sit up and take notice there in Louisville, Kentucky, because the Benton Intermediate Tigers took the best elementary team in the world in the 3D competitions. To introduce each one of them to you. So archers, when I call your name, if you'll just kind of raise your hand and nod. We have Austin Albee. We have Easton Alexander. We have Ryan Amity. We have Abigail Brock, Brady Bird, Drew Clutter, Annie Dunn, Logan Flagg, Finley George, DeMichael Hurd, Hicks, Keith Lambert, Juliana Londano, Giovanni Orlando, Molly Parker, Madeline Sunderland, Claire Van, Mackay Waiters, and Harper Young. And of course, we cannot leave out their amazing coaches. We have Amber Kraft, Michelle Frederick, Suzanne Hill, Savannah O'Donohue. Savannah's in the audience. She needs to come up here too. And also Scott O'Donohue. Would you join me in giving a big round of applause to our Benton Intermediate team? Immediate to hang tight, stay up here with me. And now help me congratulate and welcome our state, our national, and the world 3D archery champions, the Benton Middle School Tiger Team. What a year for the Tigers. So they had already swept the Bullseye and the 3D state competitions. And then when the points were all tallied at the Eastern Nationals, Benton Middle accomplished what no other middle school team had ever done before. They won their third National Bullseye Championship, and they became the first team to win national titles in both the Bullseye and 3D at a live tournament in the Eastern Division. They made history. So they also spent many summer days practicing for going on to the Open Championship, which is, again, the equivalent of world status. And let me just say, ladies and gentlemen, that the Tigers went on to they went in as the 3D national champions. They left as the 2022 3D world champions, outscoring 122 middle school teams across the nation. National and world champions. And again, if you will just raise your hand when I call your name. From the 8th grade team, Madison Hammersley, Victoria McClung, Carter Puckett, Kylie Bernard, Brandon Swinehart, Wheelis, Callie McClure, Ellie Heining, and Riley Duos. Our 7th grade team members, Savannah O'Donohue, Charlie Long, Hunter Briery, and Jaden Ford. Our 6th grade archers, Peyton Lewis, Hudson Williams, Zoe Powell, Chase Manor, Adley Poole, Daisy Jones, and Anna Evans. And of course, let's hear it for their coaches. We have Terry Streetman, we have Autry Lowry, we have Scott O'Donohue, and Mike McClung. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Individual shout outs that we want to give out. And when I call your name, if you'll actually step over here to my left. So Benton Middle School can lay claim to having 3 of the top female archers in the nation on their team. So check this out. Savannah O'Donohue ranked first among more than 2,000 middle school girls in the Bullseye. Charlie is ranked second among all the middle school girls. And Madison Hammersley, the third highest ranked middle school girl in 3D. Ladies and gentlemen, first, second, third. Do not get in their way. Do not get mad. Don't get them mad at you. Then at the Open Championship, Charlie Long placed fourth for top 3D middle school female is in the world, and Savannah O'Donohue placed third for top bullseye middle school female. Then these two went on into a scholarship shoot-off where Savannah placed fifth. She brought home a $1,000 scholarship, and Charlie placed first, and she brought home a $5,000 scholarship. And let me just remind you, these two young ladies are just now going into 8th grade this year. So they already have that waiting for them for college. And that's not all, Savannah. She also competed in the Pan Am Youth Championship in Halifax, Canada. She came home as a silver medalist. She ranked number 2. Young ladies at the top of their game, but they are also on top of their grades. And at this time, I would like to invite Kylie Ducote from Stockwell Place Elementary to come forward and join us at the podium, who, by the way, placed 6th in nationals among more than 1,200 elementary girls in the bullseye. She should get a big round of applause for that, too. George Finley, if you'll come over here. And we already have Charlie, Savannah, and Madison. Based on their results in the Eastern NASP National Tournament and their academic records, these 5 young ladies were selected among the All-American academic teams for the elementary and middle school divisions. That is a huge accomplishment. Let's give them a big round. They represent 47 states and several other countries with that distinction. And I'm honored to introduce a special guest here with us this evening, Rob Shadowin, who is the Deputy Secretary for the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. He's here, as well as Christina Spirer, who is the Archery in Louisiana Schools Regional Coordinator. And I don't know if Chad Moore is in the audience, but if he is, we'd love for Chad to come forward. He's not. He's the ALAS State Coordinator. But if you will, please welcome them. They have a special presentation to make also. Mr. Shadowin.
Thank you. Mr. Vice President, Mr. Superintendent, board members. Being from Lincoln Parish, I had the honor of serving on the Lincoln Parish School Board for 3 terms and a little bit, Vice President and President. I do not know why y'all are sitting up there. But thank you for your service, because we represent the only constituency that cannot vote, our children. And these young people, if you've never been to a state archery meet that's held right across the river in Shreveport, treat yourself. I went, and I don't use this word very often, but it was awesome. I was impressed with about 1,600 of our young people. Their parents, their grandparents, their aunts, their uncles, their friends were all there. And not only have they distinguished themselves with archery, what I noticed among this group of young people is they belie what so many people are saying about our youth. These folks are learning discipline, they're learning respect, they are learning the value of working hard. And I, on behalf of the Wildlife and Fisheries Department, and Secretary Jack Montese, who is in New Orleans, because we had a commissioner board meeting today. So you get the second fiddle, sorry. But I believe in taking Baton Rouge out of Baton Rouge and bringing it to the people we serve. Now, I know there are a lot of educators, teachers, administrators in this room. Is that right? And even though I served 13 plus years on the school board, You know, old habits die hard, and y'all continue to make me so nervous. Because when I was growing up, the teacher was the rule in the classroom, and the appellate court was the principal. And then if there was any further appeal, it went to my father, and I did not want it to go to him. I remember 2 days in my school years, 5th grade and 8th grade, I got a spanking at school, and Dad promised if I got a spanking at school, he would match it or make it worse. And he was a man of his word. That was the longest afternoons I've ever spent waiting to get home, or waiting for him to get home. Congratulations on the new doctorate. I too graduated from Louisiana Tech, not a doctorate degree. I got in before it was selective admissions, or I wouldn't have been an alumnus. Chad Moore is our coordinator for the state for archery in Louisiana schools. His schedule, we thought he might try to make it in here, but there was some interviews going on and they lasted longer than he thought. But Chad was recently recognized nationally as the coordinator of the year by the National Archery in Schools program. So we have, in Wildlife and Fisheries, we support so much what y'all do. There's a R3 program because as the baby boomers kind of age out of hunting and fishing, we're extremely concerned about the groups behind us. And R3 stands for recruitment, retention, and reactivation, wanting to get people involved like these young people are in the preservation and conservation and protection of our God-given natural resources that we have been so blessed with here in Sportsman's Paradise. So on behalf of the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, our Secretary Jack Montese, and all of our employees scattered all over the state, congratulations. Y'all do us proud, not just in this particular part of Louisiana, but you have made all of Louisiana proud for the achievements and accomplishments that you've done. Congratulations to you all. And now Christina Spire has got some certificates that she would like to hand out.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, it's been a little while since I've been to a school board meeting. Okay, so I am the Assistant State Coordinator for Archery in Louisiana Schools. I am one of the ones that puts on the tournaments, and I was lucky enough to get to go to nationals this year. I know I ran into Savannah right when she found out she was going to have to do a shoot-off. She was super excited. It was really fun to see that happen. I printed out certificates for the Benton Intermediate and Benton Middle School teams for winning, Benton Intermediate won second place in Bullseye and 3D, so I have those certificates for the coaches. I know all the kids have already been announced, so I'll save time and I'll let y'all go ahead and hand those out. Also, for the first place for Benton Middle, I have the certificates for the kids as well, but there's a few other things if you want to pass those. So one thing I kind of wanted to recognize, I pulled the records from nationals and I went through the top 10 of each division, boys and girls, for Bullseye and 3D. So I kind of want to recognize those kids if y'all don't mind. So in the elementary division, 6th place girls from Stockwell Place Elementary, Kylie Ducote. So here's your certificate, baby. Elementary division, 10th place girls, Benton Intermediate, Finley George. I'm sorry, Kylie, you had a score of 284. I had to write it down because I'm really bad with numbers. So Finley's score was 281. Again, in elementary, this is 3D, 9th place girls, Benton Intermediate, Juliana with a score of 269. She's not. This is in our 3D 9th place boys from Stockwell, Nathan White. Is Nathan here? Middle school, Bullseye division, 1st place girls, Savannah with a score of 295. Second place in middle school girls, Charlie Long, with also a score of 295. One Madison with a score of 291 in R3D. She placed third in girls. So again, congratulations to all of our top 10.
No, that's out of 300.
Yes, I don't know the numbers exactly. I know for all of the girls' divisions, so Savannah got first. Out of all the girls, there was 5,300 and something girls. Charlie got third out of that same 5,000. So I didn't know the middle school numbers, I'm sorry.
No, their score is out of 300.
Oh, yeah, sorry, their score is out of 300 points. So I encourage you, or maybe not, want to try and shoot with some of them. I know I'm not going to try. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank y'all very much for having us. It's an honor to be with y'all. If we can ever be of help at the Department of Wildlife and Fisheries, we'll be glad to be of service. Y'all have a good evening and congratulations again. Thank y'all.
Wait, we have more for our archers. If our teams and coaches will stay up here. Again, thank you so much to Mr. Shadow and Ms. Spire for being here on behalf of the Louisiana Department of Wildlife and Fisheries. We also have with us this evening Pam Graw, who is the legislative aide for U.S. Congressman Mike Johnson's office. She also has a presentation to make. Ms. Graw.
Superintendent Downey and board, thank you for this opportunity to represent Congressman Johnson, team and coaches and school. I would like to, on behalf of Congressman Johnson, congratulate you on your wonderful victory. It is quite an accomplishment, and you have represented your school and your parish and the 4th Congressional District well, and the whole state of Louisiana, as Mr. Shadowin said. This is a certificate that Congressman Johnson is presenting to your school on your behalf. It says Certificate of Congressional Commendation from Congressman Mike Johnson, presented to Benton Middle School upon being named 2022 National Archery in Schools Program 3D World Champions. So this will hopefully hang in your school in your honor. And once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much, Ms. Graw, on behalf of Congressman Johnson. Congratulations again to our archers, to Benton Intermediate, to Benton Middle School, to our All-American academic team members. That is outstanding. What an honor. You make us all Bossier proud, and we are eager to get this school year started and to see where archery takes you in this next year. You've already put Bossier schools on the map, and we're excited for you all to come back as world champions next year. So again, congratulations. Let's give them one last round of applause.
Mr. Buller would like to address.
Before our archers leave, I just want you to know, when you were at state, as luck would have it, I got shuffled to a motel, and I drove up, and there were children everywhere. And I thought, my God, what have I gotten into? And it had been a long drive, and it had been a long day, and it was late, and I just wanted to get a little rest. I rode up the elevator with a group. Some of you may have been on that elevator with me. Courteous, respectful, get up on my floor, and I think virtually every room on that floor, Bossier Parish school system, students, and sponsors. It was quiet as a church mouse. Doors were open. Everybody was respectful, and I know your athletic abilities we're honoring today, but I think people need to know that you have demonstrated some personal attributes that will stand you in good stead the rest of your life. So I commend you. I was very impressed by all of you. Thank you.
I'd like to also add real quick, the pay that we get for this job, it was questioned on why we have this. The answer is before us right now. These youngsters is why we do this. Our teachers that are advancing with their degrees, 6 doctorates, Bossier Parish is the place to be. Thank you all very much. I know y'all don't want to stay for the business part. We'll wait. Send it out a little bit. We're going to go to item number 3.01, request consider amendment to superintendent's employment contract. I believe everybody on the board received a copy of the amendments, and they're open for discussion if we need be. It's been posted, so everybody's aware of what it is. We will need a motion to accept this or deny it.
I'll make the motion to accept the contract as presented.
I second it.
Ms. Tammy Smith and then Ms. Brotherton. Please vote.
Ms. Darby's got her hand up.
Ms. Darby, you have a question?
No, just a comment.
Okay.
That I too agree to his amendment, but I do have one concern on there, and it was sent to the board members. It was the unitary.
Yes, ma'am.
I am not in favor of that.
Yes, ma'am. That item will be noted. Go ahead, Mr.
Before we
Dean.
vote, I'd just like to thank Mr. Downey for considering doing this extension with us. He's been a great asset to the Bossier Parish school system, works hard, and I appreciate him very much.
Anybody else? Any comments from the audience? Please vote. Passes unanimously. If I'm reading this correctly, yes. Item passes. Yeah. Yes, sir, you may. You're the boss.
I just want to thank the board for their confidence and assure you that I will continue to work as hard as I can to do the best job I can in concert with the tremendous employees that we have every day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 3.02, request for approval of revision of policy GBRK, annual leave, presented by Jason Rowland, Assistant Superintendent.
Thank you, Vice President Bacow, Superintendent Downey, board members. This is a revision of GBRK. I sent it to you last week. This is to close the loophole on classified support employees that are 12-month employees. This allows them to accrue vacation days. For those that have less than 10 years, 1 per month up to 10, and for those that are over 10 years, 2 per month up to 15. What's the pleasure of the board?
So moved.
Second. Second. So moved by Eric Newman. Mr. Bullard, second. Please vote. Thank you, Mr. Rowland. Eric? There you go.
Did it 5 times.
Item passes unanimously. Item number 3.03, request approval of resolution for Military Families Purple Star Program, presented by Holly George, Supervisor of Special Programs. Ms. George?
Good evening. Thank you, Vice President Brockhouse. You're doing a splendid job, by the way. Superintendent Downey, school board members. Before I present this resolution to you, I'd like to personally thank those of you that were able to come out last Thursday night to our Military Family Night. It was a great success. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it just meant a lot to me to look out into the crowd and see some of y'all out there, and I just wanted to personally thank y'all for that. I'm presenting tonight a resolution that I'm very excited about. It is the resolution for our schools to be designated as Purple Star schools. It means a lot to us. We have Barksdale here with us, and the resolution will be sent down to the State Department every time I submit a school who is applying for this distinction for Purple Star school.
Vice President, make the motion that we approve the resolution as presented.
Second.
Motion by Glenn Bullard, second by Tammy Smith. Please, Eric?
Do we need to read this aloud, or would it be worthy of us reading that aloud?
That might be appropriate, yes, sir.
Ms. George, would you like to read it aloud, or I would volunteer to read that for you so everybody knows what we're putting out there?
I could, or I have the quick notes that I gave to the principals that I could review with you, or if you would like to read it out loud, I will be happy to stand here for you to do that.
I think let's make it official and put it on record. I guess I'll do it for you so you don't have to do that. I was not able to make it, but I think this is a fabulous program, and we do rely on our military families to do a lot and sacrifice. The Bossier Parish School Board is dedicated to our military students and their families. Approximately 2,500 military-affiliated children are enrolled in the Bossier Parish School District due to close proximity to Barksdale Air Force Base. Bossier Parish School Board appreciates the sacrifices our military families make every day. Whereas the Bossier Parish School Board has a long history supporting its military-connected children and their families, and whereas the board recognizes that frequent moves leading to high mobility rates, family separations through deployments, and reintegration issues present unique challenges to military children and their families, and whereas Bossier Parish School Board is committed to meeting the unique needs of our military-affiliated students by identifying and assisting with their academic, social, and emotional needs, and whereas the Bossier Parish School Board wishes to further its recognition, commitment, support, and outreach for the military students and families in our school district. Now, therefore, be it resolved, Bossier Parish School Board provides school-based liaisons to serve as a primary point of contact for military-connected students and families who work to identify special considerations needed by this group. And be it further resolved, the Bossier Parish School Board Military Family Manager, who is a central office staff member, conducts professional development for all school personnel and staff to the specific consideration needed by military-connected students and families. And be it further resolved, each Bossier Parish school maintains a dedicated page for the Purple Star program on its website that features resources for military families. And be it further resolved, each Bossier Parish school assembles a club, organization, transition program dedicated to providing peer support for newly enrolled and veteran military-affiliated students through student-led connections. And be it further resolved, the Bossier Parish School Board affirms a commitment to the continued support of our military-connected students and families who are currently serving our country by providing extended resources and support, dated this 21st day of July, 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Newman.
Thank you.
I'd also like to say that, Ms. George, you outdid yourself last Thursday, and all the schools that participated, they were just fantastic. And then cheerleader entertainment was good. Thank you very much.
They were great.
All right, we ready to vote? You finished, Mr. Newman?
I am, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's vote. Newman went to the military academy. I don't know if everybody knows that. It comes out in him every once in a while.
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say I deeply appreciate this effort because I spent 21 and a half years in the U.S. Air Force serving my country. And I wish something had been available like this at the bases I've gone to with my children enrolling and such. But it's a wonderful thing. Bossier always leads as always. So I'm very thankful for it, and thank you so much for this coming.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it, and the schools are excited. They are excited.
I want to echo what's already been said. That was an incredible turnout. By far the best result that we've ever had with one of those events for the military. People were excited. It was informative, tremendously well organized, great participation. I was kind of wondering when on the way down here what the response would be. And then when I passed 220 and saw all the cars in the parking lot and the food trucks and the balloons and the fireworks and the incredible response, no fireworks, but anyway, it was by 10 times the turnout that we've ever had. Incredible job, incredible job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. George.
Thank you.
On to Article 3.04, request approval of resolution regarding the Bossier Parish School Board's recommendation for a one-year penalty for non-compliance regarding ITEP number 201900029 ITE, presented by Necia Bamberg.
Good evening. Tonight, 3.04 and 3.05 kind of go together hand in hand. These are two separate ITEP applications for an interrelated company, and this has to do with A.W. Chesterton and J.R. Juneau, the ITEPs that have been approved on that. And we have we've gone through the information here, but basically we've received notification that those companies were non-compliant in one portion of their application that has to do with the creation of jobs for that company. And the ITEP committee met, and the recommendation of the ITEP committee and what I bring before you tonight is that we ask the board to approve this resolution recommending a one-year penalty for those companies. Thank you.
Any more comments? Mr. Bamberg?
Do we monitor that for all of the ITEPs that we've done in the past? Or
We do not, the state does.
The state does. So if they would saw something with any of the ITEP applications that we've approved to this point, they would let us know.
My understanding, it's relatively newer practice. This is one of the first that this applies to. As y'all know, I emailed you last year about a non-compliance. In that case, the ITEP committee said it was the first year we were going to allow it to move forward. This was the first time that the ITEP committee has come together and asked to take action.
And who sits on the ITEP committee?
There's a representative from each of the jurisdictions, and the our ITEP committee, I sit on that for the school board. The ITEP committee cannot make that action. We bring that recommendation to this board for this board to take that action.
Okay. Who sits on that board?
There's a representative from the city. The assessor was there, a representative from the police jury. The Rocky Rocket was there from the economic development. We were there. It's a group of everyone that has that interest that receives ad valorem.
Okay, I'll stop after this question, but, so we are able to, if they don't meet the guidelines of any part of their ITEP application, even moving forward, this is a clawback for the tax that we've...
There's actually there's 4 separate actions we could have taken. One, and I'll give them to you, Cliff Notes. One is this 1-year penalty that we're talking about, which is basically equal to that 1 year of tax that was under the ITEP exemption. The second is that we can recommend to the board that they terminate the contract as a whole. One is that we can do nothing about it at all. And then the last one is that we could come to an agreement on a default payment. The deal with the default payment is they actually have to make the payment, and all of that has to be done before we ever make the recommendation. That's why, in this case, we felt it was the best action or recommendation to do the 1-year penalty.
Okay, because my only thing is, I know how hard it is to hire people, and I don't know if, I have no clue what's going on with these 2 businesses as far as trying to hire people, but it's really a tough market to try to hire people in today's economy. And I don't know if that has some effect on it or not. I just, not being privy to some of that information.
We went into a lot of detail with the company. It was not a decision that was made lightly. We actually had 3 separate meetings on this because we wanted to make sure it was done right. We wanted to make sure we had all the information. We had a representative from the company there. We went through all of the details of what's going on. The unanimous consent of the board was that we do value the company. We value what they're doing. We value all of that. That's why we didn't make the recommendation to terminate. We don't want to go that far, but we did feel in this case that a penalty was the recommended course of action.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Newman?
Did we ever get an estimated dollar value for this penalty?
Around $19,000.
Thank you. And that's to be divided amongst all of the...
All of the entities. That's $19,000 roughly total.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Bullard?
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. Serves me right. This is not the first time this has occurred, but this is the first time with the assistance of the State Economic Development Department. The shortfall or the non-compliance has been well documented, so there can be no question there that they are not in compliance. Previously, we've had some situations that they more or less seemingly came to us almost as a third-hand type thing. It wasn't a formal report, but again, it seems like it's always jobs, the failure to create the jobs promised. In my mind, I think all of us, and I'm not speaking for anybody, but that's the whole premise behind us approving these ITEPs, is to bring additional employment to our community. And so I'm glad that we now have a means, a formal means whereby we can react to this. Because previously, it was well after the fact we'd find out one particular petroleum company comes to mind.
Yes, sir. And this is just a recommendation. We cannot assess the penalty on our own. We make that recommendation to the board, and they take that recommendation from each of the entities, and each entity had to vote on that resolution. My understanding is the city has agreed to it and already done theirs, and the police jury approved theirs last night or yesterday.
That in mind, I'll make the motion, Mr. Vice President, that we
we got a motion.
I'm sorry.
But we're going to have 2 votes, correct?
Yes, sir. It'll be the 2 separate.
304 and 305?
Yes, sir.
And a
Yes,
vote
sir.
for is for the 1-year penalty.
Yes, sir. Your approval of the resolution.
All right, we got Mr. Moondog.
Yes.
Mr. Wiggins made the,
Motion, yes.
who seconded?
Darby.
Ms. Darby? Okay, we got that, Ms. Jennifer? All right. Mr. Bamberg?
What were the, just kind of for my information, what were the number of jobs that were promised versus the number of actual that were created?
For this particular year, there should have been 8 created, and my understanding is as of today, or as of when we met, there was still 1.
There was only one?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let's vote for 3.04.
I'm sorry, and one point of clarification. So I know Mr. Bamberger brought up hiring issues and things like that, but this is not that. This is the actual creation of a job that did not come to fruition. They said they would create 8. They only created 1. It wasn't like they couldn't find people. Is that?
You would have to get into them.
Okay.
That's all that I know.
Okay. I just want to make sure. Yeah, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right then. Let's vote for 3.04.
Guess I've been moved off the board, it looks like.
See, you ask so many questions, you get
Yeah, you get 2, I said it was my last one, he said, no, you're done.
Get crossed out.
All right, you have a good evening. All right, let me try next.
Boy. We leaving it like that, Stuart?
A forced abstination.
That's okay. We'll go with that.
Okay.
Okay. Passes. Go for 3.05, approval resolution regarding Bossier Parish School recommendation for 1-year penalty for noncompliance regarding ITEP 20190070. Any questions on this one? You got him? All right. We ready to vote? We got a nomination? Got anything? Motion? For
Waiting on technology.
3.05?
Waiting on technology.
Would Dennis mess us up again?
Sorry. I'm just trying to make your first meeting.
Yeah, you're doing this
You were doing way too good.
on purpose. I know, Bamberg. I know.
JW.
Between you and Newman. Newman.
Okay, are we voting again?
Trying to get me in trouble.
It's your fault.
Sure.
Yeah, we're on 305 now.
305.
All right. Yeah, you can just take it with you.
I'm glad you wanted to vote that way.
Yeah, we have motion again.
So moved.
No, 04 is good, isn't it, Stuart? We need to vote on 04 again? You got something, Will?
It's passed. If y'all want to do it that way, if you would like to revote, you could revote. But then we would also need a motion on 305. We haven't yet made a motion.
Right.
Okay, so
Let's go ahead and re-vote on 3.04 so Dennis can have his
Moment.
moment there.
How about that? I'm back.
We ready to vote?
JW?
they let you back on the board.
All right. Everybody voting. Passes unanimously. Let's go to 3.05.
So moved.
Motion by Billy Joe, second by Dwayne Dean. And let's vote.
I don't have any hair.
Dennis, first one, attaboy.
I'm back.
JW.
No, go ahead, JW.
There you go.
We're making progress, so. All right,
Lockhouse, I'm getting hungry.
yeah, I'm trying to hurry.
Thank you.
3.06, thank you, Ms. Bamberg. 3.06, request declaration of surplus presented by Carrie Douglas, Chief Procurement Officer.
Thank you, Vice President Bachhaus, Superintendent Downey, members of the board. Per the memo dated 7/27, I'm requesting the items listed within be declared surplus.
So moved.
Second. No. Vote, please. Y'all are hungry. Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Douglas. 3.07, employee request for leave without pay, presented by Mitch Downey.
Thank you, Vice President Bachhaus. This is the issue that I shared. Myself and Mr. Rowland contacted you and gave you the pertinent information about this request for leave without pay for a certain period of time, and I would request that the board approve that.
So moved.
Second.
Got it, Ms. Jennifer? Okay. Please vote. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right. 3.08, report Transportation Committee meeting held August 4th, 2022, presented by Glenn Bullard, chairperson.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President. The Transportation Committee did meet prior to our regular meeting today. All committee members were present, along with Mr. Bachhaus. We had two items. First of all, the committee recommends to Bossier Parish School Board that grant approval to reinstate field trip mileage for fees for trips that go beyond 70 miles from the transportation office. The actual motion was that the school or the related organization would be assessed mileage beyond 140 miles. That's a 70-mile round trip. Anything over that, they would be assessed to pay. And it passed unanimously.
Questions? Make a motion.
Out of committee.
Out of committee?
Out of committee.
Just
say that.
vote?
Out of committee.
We're making progress, aren't we? It's out of committee, let's vote. What about item 2 there, Glenn?
Wake up, Dennis.
There you go.
All right.
We had one other item, which was discussion only. Colonel Haddon briefed everyone on the current status of availability of school buses. It is not a very rosy picture. Thanks to his efforts and his attention to the market, he believes we can get ahead of the curve and be able to secure the necessary buses for our next school year by making an order earlier. We normally will order 4 to 5 months prior to delivery date, and now we're looking at 14 months, 12 months or so maybe. And the committee had a lot of questions and comments, but this is something that will be coming to the board at our next meeting, and that will be to approve purchases, our purchase of a number of school buses that we'll have to put the order in much earlier than normal so we can hopefully get the units that we will need. And that concludes my report, Mr. Vice President.
Thank you, Mr. Bullard. 3.11, request approval of trip request.
These are in order.
So moved.
You got it?
Who got it? It's all right.
You?
J.W.
Who second? Ms. Brotherton?
Oh, and I vote on it?
J.W. and Billy Joe. Just take your pick.
Mr. Newman? All right. Vote passes. Announcement, superintendent's comments.
Thank you, Mr. Bachhaus. First day of school for grades 1 through 12 is Wednesday, August 10th. That's next Wednesday. Kindergarten, first day will be Wednesday, August 17th. Pre-K, Wednesday, August 24th. The next regular session of the Bossier Parish School Board will be held August 18th, 6 p.m. here at the BIC. That concludes my announcements.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. As bad as everybody wants to see this time to come, 5.01, adjournment of the regular session of the board.
Motion adjourned. Second.
Please vote.
Glenn,